When it comes to self-improvement and spirituality, bro, I feel like a lot of people on the internet and social media are just overcomplicating this stuff for no reason. And I'm not sure why they do this. It's because they want this stuff to become a new religion, and that's not what self-improvement or spirituality is even about. And what I mean by people are trying to turn spirituality and self-improvement into a new religion is that people are literally being so strict on this for no reason. Like, people are overcomplicating it literally for no reason at all. Like, and a lot of people in self-improvement or spirituality are literally starting to get caught up in their ego. Like, they're not even realizing it, but people that are into spirituality know that it's important to subside your ego for a bit, stop being egotistical for a bit. But at the same time, they're unconsciously being egotistical without even realizing it. And what I mean by a lot of people are starting to get caught up in their ego with spirituality is, they essentially think that there's only one specific way to do things. Like, they only think that there's only one path, only one correct way to do things. And this belief is so egotistical that it's completely false. For example, right, I'm gonna give you like a great example of a huge misunderstanding and misconception that's within the spirituality and self-improvement community, right? So, a lot of people that are within, this spirituality community think that, that you have to stop eating meat. Like, you have to stop eating meat in order to gain another level of consciousness. And honestly, this is completely false because, there's a lot of individuals out there spreading information and knowledge, and they eat meat. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I even made a video talking about how, if you're a vegan, you have to stop forcing your ideologies and beliefs, your vegan ideologies and beliefs onto other people, because at the end of the day, bro, no matter how, it's like the vegan teacher, right? Like, no matter, like, let's not be like the vegan teacher, essentially, because you can convince as many people as you want that, oh, the whole world needs to be vegan. Oh, everybody has to stop eating meat. But at the end of the day, there's always going to be one or two people that will continue to eat meat. So it's pointless. And another big misunderstanding is that you have to give up like a big part of yourself in order to grow, which is, listen, I honestly feel like this is true and false. Because, for example, if you go read the book that is titled The Monk That Sold His Ferrari, it really elaborates on the idea of, in order to enter a new world, a new reality, a new destination, you have to cut off your old world, your old habits, your old pleasures. But at the same time, it's about understanding on having a certain balance, right? Like, it's about pretty much having discipline. Because in today's generation in society, you're literally seeing a lot of people that are actually successful but literally still drink alcohol, still smoke weed. And I'm not even saying this as in a way to emotionally sway anybody that does that, because these individuals are still successful, they're still living their best lives, and they do whatever they want. So it's not necessarily about cutting out alcohol, cutting out weed, or cutting out whatever habits, right? But it's essentially about knowing the balance between them and controlling them to your favor. So I'm gonna give you a quick example, right? So, like, for me personally, like, one thing that's a part of me that I would just never give up, that's, I grew up with, is anime and manga. Like, bro, like, I grew up watching these things. Like, it's just something that I can never give up. And I'm pretty sure we all have those individual things that, we will never be able to give up, because it's just naturally a part of us. By the way, I'm gonna give you the top 4 best mangas right now, okay? One is Kagurabachi. That shit is gas. And you be seeing people on the internet literally slander Kagurabachi, thinking that it's ass for no reason. I don't know why people be doing that shit. Kagurabachi is actually fucking tough. I don't know why people are doing that shit. Second is Sakamoto Days. That shit is tough as hell. What else? Third is probably Boruto 2 Blue Vortex. And the fourth is probably this manga called Centuria. I don't know if I pronounced it right, but if you're a manga geek like me, you probably know what I'm talking about. It's like, this manga is the combination between Berserk and Villain Saga. It's pretty fucking tough. But essentially what I'm trying to say is, my bad, I'm getting off topic, but it's about knowing how to balance these things out. Because you see a lot of people in today's society that are literally thriving, that still smoke weed, that drink alcohol. And a lot of people like to demonize these things as bad habits. It could be a bad habit, but you need to transmute it into something that is not necessarily a bad habit, but something that you do occasionally, and it won't become a completely bad habit. See, like, a lot of these individuals on social media that claim to be, into spirituality, that claim to be spiritual, that claim to be, into self-development, a lot of them are actually fooling you, because in secret, they're actually moving in religious indoctrination, because they think that there's only one specific way to become spiritual. There is many different ways to becoming spiritual. You just have to do it in your very own unique way, because everyone else is different. You know, not everybody wants to become vegan. Not everybody else wants to do these weird things, right? But it's ultimately just about finding something that's best suited for you. You can become spiritual, or you can even become the best version of you in your own very way, shape, or form. And don't let anybody tell you different, because it's false. Understand this, bro. You know how a lot of people on the internet saying, you know, become the best version of you? Bro, listen. Become the best version of you, not other people, because a lot of people like to become the best version of other people and not actually the best version of themselves. It's like you're hearing this, but you're not actually listening to what it's actually saying. Bro, become the best version of yourself, not the best version of your brother or your dad or your friend or somebody else. It's about becoming the best version of you, not anybody else. Now, it's preferred to, you know, get on a diet. It's preferred to meditate. It's preferred to, you know, do all these things that are good for the body vessel, because these things are actually going to help. I feel like, in my personal opinion, I feel like these things are actually going to help fuel your own personal growth and self-development. But at the same time, you know, do it your own way. Like, don't be out here trying to copy people on social media because they were the one that told you that it was right. Like, a lot of people are trying to do this shit where, you know, they see somebody with a big following and they do exactly what that person says, thinking that they're right just because of the fact that they have like 100K followers or some shit like that. Like, no, it is completely false. Let's stop falling for this weird trap, all right? It's really ultimately just about changing how you think, your mindset, your mentality, and just overall changing your perception on how you see life and, you know, everything that's around it. Because like a wise man once said, you know, life is an internal game. It's not an external physical game, but it's actually a game that's within. So I'm not necessarily here to tell you and inform you on how exactly you should help develop yourself and elevate yourself, because, you know, we're all different, right? Because understand this, right? Like, this is a great example. So, you know, there's many different diets, right? Like the keto diet, the animal-based diet, the carnivore diet, plant-based, alkaline, vegan, vegetarian, whatever. And what's funny is that you could have at least like 10 people in a room, right? You could all feed them, you know, the same kind of diet food. Like, let's just say like an animal-based diet, you know, food, right? And, you know, a lot of, like, not everyone's bodies would agree with the animal-based diet. Like, for example, you know, a lot of people talk about how, you know, raw dairy actually makes their skin break out and cause massive bloating. And same thing goes with the vegan diet. Like, a lot of people, like, you could have 2 different people, or maybe even 10 or 5 or however many people would try the vegan diet, but, you know, a lot of it just won't help or work out with a couple of individuals' bodies, because not everyone is the same. So it's ultimately just about finding what is best for you, what works best for you, and sticking with it. This is what is important and what's key. Understand this. And in my personal opinion, self-development and spirituality is ultimately just about finding what methods work best for you and ultimately sticking with them. That's really it. Like, listen, I'm not here to overcomplicate this shit and make it seem a lot harder than it actually is, like, unlike these people on social media that are actually doing. Like, it's plain and simple. It's just about, you know, how good you can grasp it and, you know, doing it in your own way, shape, and form so that you can understand it best. This is the true reason as to why we have to start throwing these misconceptions and these misunderstandings about self-development and spirituality in the trash and actually start realizing what's actually important for these things, right? But hey, I'm gonna end the video off that. I hope y'all enjoyed, and that's King Wanda's, and I'm out.